Hello, Michigan gardeners. This is Doug at Buzzard Family Farm. We're on Verona Road, just outside of Marshall, Michigan. Uh, Today, I'm going to divide some Karl Foerster reed grass. It is a cool season grass, and it has already started to grow. Many of your maiden grasses and other grasses are not showing any kind of growth at this point. It's a good idea to get them cut back at this point because when they do start to grow, latter part of April, May, you're going to be cutting off new growth if you don't get it cut off at this point. But the Karl Foresters have already started growing. It's a very popular grass at the farm. Not super fast growing, beautiful height, and it plumes for much of the summer as a very vertical accent to it. It's very pretty in the wind, has tan panicles or these flower kind of blooms that just sway in the wind throughout the summer. So it's a really pretty grass, heavily used with lots of professional landscapers because, again, it's very well behaved. Clump forming, gets a little bigger each year, but doesn't overtake things. So I've got 4 good-sized clumps back here, and I'm going to dig one up and show you how I'm going to divide it. And then I'll pause the video and I'm going to show you some other things that you can be doing in the garden, despite the fact that this is an exceptionally cold and wet spring here in Michigan. Things are up. Daffodils are up. Dutch iris are up. Tulips are up. Foxglove are showing color. The hellebores have started to flower. I can show you that in some future video where I'm going to do one on just how quickly spring is coming, in spite of the fact that for February and March we've been exceptionally cool after a kind of warmer than average winter. But I'm going to dig up one of those clumps of the Karl Foerster. I'm going to ultimately dig up all 4 of them, divide them, and put a smaller piece back in each spot. And I'll show you how I'm going to do that with just one of the 4 clumps. So just to show you how big this clump is, you can see it's been there probably 4 or 5 years now, and I can divide this into several pieces and plant back a smaller piece. Okay, so I'm going to take it back over there where you can see me dividing it, and I can use the spade to do that. Set it on its side in the hole, and then just take your spade and go right through the middle. And then do the same thing with each half. Put it on its side and just go right through the middle. And then there's a decent sized clump to put into a pot for somebody. We use 2-gallon pots for these. And it will be a nice looking plant to sell this summer. And there's a piece that can go back in the hole. But I've got this other piece which is even bigger. I think I can get 3 pretty generous pieces out of it. Maybe 4. And maybe even 5. So out of that clump I got 2, 4, 6, even more than I thought, and 1 to plant back. So planting it back, add some compost into the hole. I just use, again, as I've said in past videos, I use a little bit of horse manure. We have some horses here at the farm, and then I mix that with some old potting soil that was in the containers from last summer up by the farm stand. And I just mix it half and half, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I don't really have an exact measuring. And then I dump some of it in the hole, spade it around. Mix it in good with the existing dirt. And then take that piece that I saved, plant it in there, give it a drink of water. And then I'll do the same thing with the other 3 clumps. And then in 4 or 5 years, they'll be big enough again to divide. Maybe you want to give some to a friend. Maybe you've got a new landscaping project you're doing. The Karl Foerster grass, like I said, exceptionally popular amongst landscapers. Here in Marshall, you'll see it in the median beds across from Arby's and McDonald's. It's just very, very pretty all through the summer with the plumes. It's a very vertical grass with the plumes just kind of swaying in the wind. The other thing I wanted to show you, so I'm going to take this off the tripod. Is over here, this is a switchgrass. It's not ready to be dug yet, but it has a lot of this weed in it, which I call shepherd's purse. And it's just starting to get a white flower on it. And so what I'm doing is just going to go through the garden and keep getting that stuff out. That and henbit is very, very prolific after the milder winter we've had. And there's just a lot of henbit that you can go through your garden and get out at this point. Once it goes to flower, you're going to have a lot more shepherd's purse or henbit or chickweed, any of those winter annuals. They love it cool. And this winter, they really germinated in the fall and stayed alive all winter. And now they're really starting to spring up. They just love all the moisture and the cold weather we've had as of late. Okay, that's it for today. Think about doing some dividing if you've got some Karl Foerster grass. Autumn Joy Sedum is another one. I did a video 2 years ago on that. You can certainly go back and look at that video if you want to see how to divide that. Perfect time to do it right now. It's cool, it's moist, the soil works easily, the plants come right up, and you just have to get your spade or a nice soil knife that I use sometimes when it's a smaller perennial, not quite as rugged as a grass, and just split them apart, move them around where you want them to be, give them to a neighbor, help somebody else enjoy gardening too. So until the next time, take care, and I'll see you then.